oil or any other thing na nangyari kay Emma, the Holy Host, yung mga flower, yung ano.
She was praying in the chapel, and she received the gift of the light of healing. And she asked us to touch her hand, and we all went over to touch her hand. And she was just emanating with the most beautiful fragrance. She had oil on her hands, oil on her face, and this most beautiful fragrance just filled the whole place.
One of the most common but remarkable occurrences that happened to Emma is what they call the sparkles, or glitter, or gold dust, what is also known in Latin America as escarchas.
Right in front of our eyes, as soon as she started to talk about the Blessed Mother, she sparkled right there. We said, look.
I seen that load of sparkles that she got hit with, when the apparition was going on.
It would start on the face, and what would happen is it would go gray. The gray gets darker, and then it's gold, or it's multicolored.
And I remember turning and looking at Emma, and at that moment, Emma did not look like Emma. It was like this beautiful lady, and the sparkles started appearing on her face. I never witnessed that. So I was shocked, but I was like a child. I came to her and I touched with my finger and I put it on myself.
And we saw it on her forehead, and at first I thought, I didn't see that when it wasn't there, and I didn't see it get there, and I don't not believe, but I'm not going to go home and tell everybody I saw a miracle. But after that happened, many times we saw the gold just appear on Emma's forehead, and then I didn't care what people thought.
She turned around and she said, good evening. And she was covered with what I would call sparkles. And my first reaction was I looked up to the ceiling because I thought there was a little hole up there. I thought there's a hole and somebody's upstairs dropping this stuff down. But that's not the way it was.
And as we were talking, the sparkles came right in front of me. I'm like a foot away, and I'm like, my eyes are getting big, and she says, what? What is it, Bill? I said, you have sparkles all over your face. I said, I thought we have to pray in order this to happen. Oh, no, she said, not so. He says, we're actually praying, we're talking about Jesus. So we're in essence praying.
At times, the sparkles were not just on Emma, but on other people and even on her surroundings.
We saw the tree covered with, all the bark was covered with gold dust.
We've also seen it materialize. We were here one night when she was preparing for a mission in the Philippines, and we were packing rosaries and scapulars into little bags. And as we were doing it, all of a sudden the table was covered with gold dust. And that wasn't there when we started. It was just falling, and you could see it as it's just about to land on the table.
I thought in the beginning, it's a sweating or something. Afterwards, I realized all gold dust, sparkling. As I took in the camera also. And also afterwards, it's all perfume all around here. So it was new to me, but I never doubted. So God can do miracles.
Those who prayed with her all these years have witnessed much, much more.
The one that impacted on me the most significantly was the Passion and Stigmata, where I was here praying with her and actually saw the bruising, the bleeding, the thorns. When I first saw the thorn bleed, I wanted to run. I thought, I can't take this. There's something here that I just can't get a handle on this. It's too much. But then something made me stay. For 5 years, I was a witness to this Passion and Stigmata.
And she started to bleed from the forehead, and my husband touched the little thorns there. There were really thorns there. A lot of blood. And when she rinsed it off, the little holes, they closed right up, and everything disappears.
She was being scourged, and she got up and she moved to the edge of the white thing, and you could just, her lips were going like a baby go, like that. It was so painful. You could, like that. It was your heart is broken just watching it.
When the scourging started, they would pick up the back of her gown that she had on. It was done in a modest fashion. You could see the scourging was started, and there was just 2 or 3 slash marks. And then in 5 minutes, there'd be maybe 22 or 3, whatever. You could see the numbers increasing, and her whole back had the marks from the scourging.
At the beginning, you could count, but later, you couldn't count anymore.
I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. I believe in Jesus Christ, His only Son, our Lord. He was conceived with the power of the Holy Spirit and born of the Virgin Mary. He suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified and was buried. He descended to the dead. On the third day he rose again.
I'll never forget, too, one other thing I'll never forget is on Good Friday, she was laying down prostrate like this, as if, she went through the stigmata, the scourging, and it was like she went through the crucifixion. And she was laying down straight, and at the time she started to come up, I looked at my watch.
And the whole top of her body just elevated right up off the floor.
Without end, amen. O my Jesus, forgive us our sins, save us from the fire of hell, and lead all souls into heaven, especially those who most need of thy mercy. The third sorrowful mystery, the crowning with thorns.
And her hands went out, and she was speaking in a different language. And then her head fell to the side.
Now and at the hour of our death, amen. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death, amen.
And I'm by background, I'm an engineer. I'm a degree in metallurgy, engineering. And I like my watch exactly right. And I want the time to be perfect, because I like exact time. And I looked at the time, and it was exactly 12 noon. And that, I got the shivers because not long before that, I was watching a documentary on television where a lot of biblical scholars believe that the time of Jesus when he was crucified was not 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but many think it was 12 noon exactly. And then they went into why it was that time. And that was, kind of amazing,
We couldn't seem to take it. We understood that it wasn't only Emma, and but it was the Lord. Actually, it was the Lord's passion.
One evening during the prayer meeting in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, a Wednesday evening, Emma started to experience excruciating pain. And the way that we knew that was she was bending and moaning and going, aray, aray, which we didn't know was Filipino for pain.
The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death.
And she reached during this time into her blouse, and in great pain and difficulty, she pulled out from her chest roses one at a time. Tiny, tiny pink roses. There was no thorns and no leaves.
And blessed is the fruit of thy womb.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners.
When we were praying, I felt, I cannot, it's like I was vomiting. I felt that I wasn't to vomit, and then I felt that something become heavy, heavy, heavy in my heart,
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord.
And I felt there's something here inside that's coming out. It's like there's something that is going to stick out, come out, and it's so painful, very painful.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour.
And it's like I want to remove it. So it's here, when I felt the pain.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee.
It was really painful that my body was like this, shaking and shaking.
Now and at the hour of our death, amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb.
I jumped up to look, and Emma's pulling out these small roses. and you could see the saliva on him.